like 14, 17. Sometimes we'll go up there and it's like, no deer.
Nobody home
Really?
Yeah, you always see a couple, won't you?
We don't. I think we've only been skunked 2 times.
Yeah.
No, we don't
None
have.
at all. We've had a couple days where it was 2 or 3, which is weird.
Our record's 48.
47.
Oh, 47.
Wow.
We keep trying to get more, but it's
I keep
47.
thinking 48 breaks the record.
I know. We haven't done that yet.
You don't see too many deer in Australia there. You'll see more kangaroo.
I don't think there's any deer in Hawaii.
Right.
Not that I know
I don't think they can swim that far.
A lot of wild boar.
Wild boar.
Yeah,
of. Lots of them.
lots. That's what keeps the Samoans fit
But I
and
don't
healthy.
know how they got there either.
Somebody brought them over, I reckon.
Well, they're just domestic pigs that went wild, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, how does Australia have camels? And they're a feral beast all over the outback.
We were watching that show last night after you left, and the guy says, what was it? He says they're feral. They belong in a
Oh,
zoo.
the little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was referring to his grandkids.
Came flying out onto the road, and the sergeant and what's her name, Vera, came around the corner, and the kids were in a wheelchair playing, and the other 2 were running after the kid in the wheelchair, and the sister jumps out of the car and she goes, "Mom's told you 1,000,000 times," and the guy yells out, "They're feral kids."
They're feral. They belong in a zoo.
That's a word you learn really quickly over there, because that's what they use to describe.
They are crazy, but I think a lot of kids are feral now.
True.
We call it free range.
There's James. Mr. Pink.
Oh, goodness.
Thought that was a girl until I saw the beard.
Yeah, he's we finally found out why he wears pink, because he's been wearing it for quite a while now. And somebody, I don't remember who asked him, if it was Mark or Terry. I think it was Terry.
Terry.
Kaiser. He asked James why he always wears pink, and he said, because if I wear pink, I don't do heroin.
Well, fair enough.
Well, okay. I mean, if it
on
works
wearing
for you, keep wearing it. Sometimes he even has a little tutu on.
Yeah, okay.
But whatever.
Whatever keeps him off heroin, that's a good thing.
Hopefully he's not taking it in the butt,
But if it keeps him from doing heroin, I'd say go for it.
Yeah. That's a nasty drug.
especially nowadays with all the fentanyl laced.
Oh, that fentanyl's terrible.
I told you about the Bible study I was at back in New York,
Yep.
and the guy came, George,
Yeah.
told me he lost his brother, his son, and his nephew within 30 days to heroin overdoses.
Sad.
Can you imagine?
No, I couldn't imagine the pain.
It's too horribly to think about.
Yeah.
But last time I was there, he said God has used it mightily. My daughter came to Christ,
Amen.
and he said, I am finding that I get a lot of opportunity to share the gospel.
That's cool.
You know, so like what we were talking about, that God redeems.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a redeemer.
That's right.
That's why I say we don't ever see the big picture, when you're talking about, I know in a way it's a whole different ball game, but when you're talking about the job thing,
Yeah.
we don't know.
No.
I mean, it's painful to go through that stuff,
Yes.
but we don't know the big picture. We don't see why we're not doing this or why we are doing that, or,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't know.
I kind of feel bad too, because I'm thinking this is what's hurting me and destroying me, but there's people going through a lot worse than that. I mean, I got a job to go back to, a family, so I'm trying to keep that in perspective, because there's people out there doing it hard.
I mean, there's some
we drove down T Avenue. There's 17 homeless
17
rigs.
homeless rigs now.
Yeah.
At least 17.
We see people that are, I mean, there have been a lot of people in the news that have lost really good, expensive jobs. I mean, jobs that they were pulling in a lot of money because they stood up against all the stuff that's going on. So, you know, for us to bellyache about, you know,
Yeah.
you're in the middle of a road. Like,
Don't worry about it.
I mean, she's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I try not to cry about my blessings, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But it is hard when you don't know why,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
You
No.
just need to be more accepting of God knows why, and He's doing it for, you know, a good purpose.
He's doing it just fine. He doesn't need my advice or opinion.
I'm such a good helper.
Yeah.
So usually we see him in here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's another homeless. There's
Oh.
no cars here today, though. Usually there's a couple of homeless cars here.
Wow.
Listen to this song later.
Mostly they're inside that fence when we do see them here.
Wow. That is quite confronting. There's the church of his old house, isn't it?
No, it's over here.
Oh, is it?
Over here.
Which one is it? Right here?
It's gone, I think.
I think
No,
they
no, where
took
it used to be.
I think it's right here.
Yeah, right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they took it down a few years ago and built that.
A couple of years ago.
I'll tell. I always liked him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
We used to call his brother Igor.
Oh yeah.
But his brother was a drunk.
Oh, it's too
Are you talking
bad.
about Pete and Repeat?
Pete and Repeat.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah, we were pretty mean. You know, we were teenagers. He was always staggering around town, sleeping in planter boxes and stuff.
I think I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I got to know him is his kid played baseball.
Oh, there we go.
Two,
Two.
There's 2 for the count.
3.
3, one laying down.
What were you,
Sometimes there's some up there.
What were you saying, Ron?
The way I got to know him is his kid played baseball, and Jamie had him, and remember Sonny Johnson?
That name rings a bell.
Yeah, he was a friend of what's his name here? Gone. He just said it. Anyway, they were friends, and Jamie had both their kids on his baseball team back in the day.
Okay.
So that's how I got to know him. And you know, it was kind of like my dad was always like that. He always took on the down and outers.
That's cool.
And you know, I had my friend, my mentor in Christ, Roger Morgenthaler, told me one time that your dad had a heart like not very many men have, because he always had a place for people no matter who they were. And it probably hurt his business, because some of them would hang out down there, you know,
Right.
and they needed a bath sometimes or something.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't
Couldn't turn people away.
turn people away, especially Indians, you know, Native
Yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I got to know him before he passed away, because he passed away really early.
Okay.
87.
Oh wow.
He was 80 years old, but
Right.
That was, I mean, we
Almost
only been
81.
married, What, 11 years when he died?
What a great compliment to have people say, you know.
yeah. Well, yeah, and I had John Calvin Myers did the funeral at Evans,
Okay.
and he was talking to me, and I said, well, you know, my dad was what I would call he would not have ever questioned that God didn't exist and that Jesus died for our sins, because he was raised that way. They taught it in school when he was young,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I said, you may call him a traditional Christian, but I think sometimes you have to look at the everything he did was based on godly principles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when he died, and you know, they put the obituary, the place was packed.
Yeah.
There was not an open seat. People were standing.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people were out in the foyer too.
And John Calvin told me that he was surprised by how many people were there. And I said, well, that's because my dad always helped people.
Right.
You know, he always had a hand for. He didn't like to see families go hungry. He carried people on the books. Wrote off $50,000 in debt twice.
Wow.
And that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, absolutely, it was.
My mom used to say, we live on hamburger. People that owe us money eat steak.
3
Yeah.
freaking deer? What the heck?
Oh dear.
That's just
But his dad was a drunk and would go on benders and they wouldn't have any food. So it got to where his mom would get money. They'd keep like cornmeal and flour, you know, in 50-pound sacks. So they always had that. And then my dad said I'd go out and shoot and fish for anything I could get.
Right. Bring home some deer or salmon or whatever.
Yeah, grouse.
You know, which is kind of sad when you think about how, and I'm not saying your dad shouldn't have done it, but it's kind of sad when you think about how when people aren't doing well and they're asking somebody to carry them on the books and they're buying steak,
Yeah.
you know,
That's rotten.
when they should be just buying whatever they need to get by instead.
Yeah,
You
that-
know?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, you're still carrying them, but it's like at least you go, well, I mean, at least they're trying to make their food stretch, you know.
yeah. Yeah.
I gotta admit though, my dad had probably the best meat in town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a good butcher.
Yeah, like even this building looks new to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fairly new. I mean,
Yeah.
probably the last 10 years, but it's.
Well, yeah, no, not that long, I don't think.
Well, they added another one, and I'm trying to remember because there was one there, and then they added. I think the one was
They
the
tore
first
one
one, and then they
down,
took
yeah.
one down and added to that building because it's now on 2 blocks or a whole block,
And that's Flounder
Because it
Bay.
used to be. I don't know what it
I
is.
don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It used to be Flounder Bay Lumber.
Yeah.
There's the Serapto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up until just recently, you had to wear a mask to go in there.
Oh, wonderful.
And show your Vax card.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, not doing it.
A fax card. Yeah, wonderful.
I mean, for a thrift shop.
There's the Panzero's house.
Yeah, my brother and Ron Panzero ran around together. when
There's
they were
another one of
kids.
our homeless people.
Oh, wonderful.
We had 2 down here. I don't know what if the other one moved up to T because I can't really remember what his looked like. It was a trailer, or I mean a motorhome. I don't know what happened to it. So I think it's probably on T, or else he moved out of town, which I doubt. He has it too good here.
They'd love to have them at Trident. They need people there.
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That place is a constant now hiring.
They're always, they're always hiring.
I worked there twice.
Job's a job, I guess.
Oh yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
We've seen deer up in people's yards and
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
don't we
it's-
just always go on this ride?
this is just we do the same route pretty much. I mean, not every single time. There's been a couple times we've veered off to do other stuff, but we pretty much do the same. We
There's
just
an old
follow
cannery
the
building
line.
here that burned down a year ago.
I was gonna say I don't remember Anchor Cove. I was looking at it yesterday.
Oh, it's been there quite a while.
Okay.
I think
But there
because
was an
that
old-
building was there, you didn't really pay that much attention to it.
It was hiding.
Big old
Yeah.
building there, and I think it was another case of somebody
Vandalism.
needed it out of the way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Burned their building down, or had somebody burn it down for them because they
You can do that in Anacortes.
couldn't.
It happens
You know,
pretty
it's so
regularly.
expensive to do all the EPA stuff.
A secret insurance job.
Burn it down.
Yeah. Not me. I don't know who did it.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Huh? Nothing to see here.
Well, some of the buildings are so old and decrepit that you can't insure them.
No.
You know, so it's just a matter of getting rid of it.
No insurance company would ever do that. I went down here yesterday, had a walk down at Kiwanis Park. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Did you notice that one of the tires on the front passenger side of Ben's Toyota is
flat.
We probably need to go out and put some air in it.
Yeah.
'Cause it probably shouldn't be sitting on the...
No, I need to remind me to do that.
Yeah,
I'll
I
do
keep
that.
trying to remember to tell you. I was out there the other day with Bethany watching the dogs run around like a couple of nuts because one of them will get under the other one's rear end and do the wheelbarrow where they're running
Yeah.
like 500 miles an hour, but the one has its head under the other one's butt and the front legs are going but the back legs are up here. It's just hysterical. But anyway, I was noticing it when we were out there doing that.
Yeah, I saw it the other day when I ran them. I got to do that again too.
I like that house there.
Yeah,
Nice old one.
beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. We still have some of the old houses, you know, these left over from
Way back.
way back. This one just got painted this
Oh.
year, or well, last year now. but,
Last summer.
Like they were still painting it up into October and September, or October, November, I think. Coming and doing some finish stuff.
At least that's one job where you can wear a mask and isolate, isn't it?
Yeah. They didn't let people do that though.
That's weird. You got a respirator on.
It didn't even make any sense. It was like people couldn't get construction jobs, and they had all that stuff halted for I don't know how long. It was just like what?
What?
You can't build somebody's house.
I know.
Weird things happen that just boggle the mind.
That's what they're there to do. Be mind bogglers.
Yeah. And that's Paul Lavery used to live there, but he killed himself when he found out he had cancer.
How long ago was that?
Oh, long
Okay.
Probably 15, 20.
Oh, well, that's sad to hear.
Yeah, that was real sad.
Yeah.
But I think he was a little bit of a nut.
Well, I
I didn't
mean,
realize it, but
yeah. I remember that last name.
Yeah, his son was one of the best lawyers
Oh, God.
around, you know, as far as criminal cases and stuff.
Getting the cons off, huh?
Yeah, and also, you know, it was, I think mostly it was, what's the word I'm looking at? Corporate stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, more cons.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
The big con.
You know, the lawyer you want if you're in trouble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know that's like that one guy that was the DUI lawyer that was like the one to get if you had a DUI because he was like he had a huge fix-it rate. I don't know what you call it, but anyway, he was an alcoholic.
Oh, wonderful.
It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, he went after corporations, you know, when people sued corporations and
Lavera.
stuff, yeah. That's where he made his name.
Like the people that don't realize it's a cup of hot coffee and they spill it and they get to win millions.
Yeah.
Or they have brown lettuce inside their burger.
Well,
That stuff-
he kind of did like wrongful death stuff, you know, accidents at work and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay. Not they put 3 pickles instead of 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that hot coffee thing,
That was just, you know, that's frivolous crap.
That set the precedence of the stupidity of.
That was the beginning of the frivolous lawsuits.
Yeah.
Now you get sued for everything. It's like I was talking to my friend Warren, you know, about why do they close Pass Lake all the time, you know, when the algae comes? Because they said it's been doing this for ever since I was a kid.
Right.
Ever since, you know, basically since they quit moving the water out of it because they used to have the fish hatchery down in Bowman's Bay.
Right.
And they would use the fresh water from Pass Lake. They said now the lake just sits there and stagnates, and since they did that, they've had the algae issue, the toxic algae. Well, now they they closed the lake down
Oh,
completely. They don't let you fish it.
no more fly fishing.
Which is
And
weird
so,
because it's a catch and release.
yeah, but they're afraid of being sued. That's what he said.
I'm sure.
He said, Ron, it's about the lawyers. He said if somebody goes out there and get their hands in the water and they get it in their mouth and they get sick or their dog gets sick or something, they're gonna sue, even if you've got it posted. Well, you let me in there, and he's right.
Well, because there's no personal responsibility anymore is the
No.
problem.
No, there's not.
We don't.
You're not accountable.
We don't
you know.
count for nothing. Counts
The
for
devil
personal
made me do it.
responsibility.
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. I had to.
Yeah. Well, you know, do you remember when KFC used to be on 12th Street?
Yeah.
I used to work there. I think I was about 16 or 17, and we would give the food away to the homeless,
Yeah.
and then we had to stop doing that because of the worry of a
There's one.
lawsuit.
Yep.
And we're throwing away a lot of food at night,
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy stuff like
right
that.
into the dumpster.
And why did they have to stop doing it?
Because somebody could get sick or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Because of like the chicken getting cold or whatever. But you know what? You look at what some of those homeless eat anyhow, and it's like it's a miracle that they're still alive anyhow.
I remember there was a time when I was in high school and that place first opened.
Yeah.
If you wanted a job there, you had to be on the honor roll.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Times
you
have
He
changed.
wouldn't let you work there unless you were on the honor roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
that probably all changed when they couldn't find kids on the honor roll anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, McDonald's used
Oh,
to
there's three more.
Four.
8. We're up to 8 already.
Woo!
9.
Nine.
There's one up
Holy
there.
moly. Were they there the other day too?
No.
They were somewhere along there.
I know, I'm trying to remember where that was, where we were like, what the heck? Oh yeah, it was there. It
Yeah.
was there. It was that
Same spot.
Yeah. So we got 9.
We're gonna probably get double digits at least.
We usually find a lot down in
Skyline.
Oh, I bet.
Now that the Christmas lights are gone, they're probably.
Yeah, that 1 yard's probably filled with them. They feed them. There's different people who feed them. There's a deer, we call her the deer lady up on the spine,
Okay.
and she feeds them. So if we don't go through there the right time of day,
Yeah.
you don't see them, but
Oh.
she does feed them all year long. She even had little troughs built for them.
Wow.
She's kind of a nut.
Yeah. Cool, but a nut.
My sister buys apples to feed them too.
Oh, cool.
So
I don't feed them. I shoot them in the butt with my CO2 gun.
they're out there eating all of our vegetables and stuff.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the garden. And last summer there was a little baby, and it was really cute. But there was a
Standing
little
in my
baby
onion
standing
patch.
in the onion patch, and it was like, what the heck?
Me? What are you looking at me for?
Yeah, why are you looking at me? Jalen liked shooing him out of the yard.
Oh,
So we
cool.
taught him to stay away from him. He could run at him, but he had to stay a certain distance away.
Yeah.
And he'd yell at him, so they'd go running off. And
They'd run at them and scream.
the neighbor that just
And boy,
sold
he
that
can
place next
scream.
door, she was over there, working on the house or whatever the heck she did. And she goes, "Oh, honey, we don't chase the deer." And he puts his little hands on his. And this was a couple of years ago. Puts
Right.
his little hands on his little hips, and he goes, "We do."
Wow. Good for him.
Jalen.
You tell him,
Oh,
Jalen.
there's 2.
Huh?
So
There's one
11, 12.
Well, at least we have more deer than homeless.
Close. 13.
Yep, there's one up there.
Sometimes I
Oh,
think
14, 15.
14, 15. Look at that stag.
Double digits.
Sometimes I think, oh, I'm not going to go up
Nice
here.
2 point.
And then I come up and it's like, oh, there's lots up here.
That 2 point will look nice on my wall.
Yeah,
So what is that, 16?
50.
50.
Wow. Only 32 left to go.
15. We used to see a bunch here, but then they started
They
building
started
that
building
house.
houses. They built that place and one up here. They took up all the vacant lots.
And one down there.
Yeah.
It looks like most of these people just have their house.
Yeah.
No backyard.
No yards. It's a big giant house on their little tiny piece
those houses down here is for sale if you want it.
Yep, there's
Oh.
a house down here on the
I'll show you.
bottom that's for sale. It's been for sale for a while, so you might be able to cut a deal
You
on
might
it.
be able to get a discount.
Will they take a check for 1.2 million?
No, it's 6 million.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I only have
No, no, no.
1.2.
This brick one,
Yeah.
stone one, whatever you want to call it, where the black car is. That's been for sale for a long time, but evidently the guy doesn't really care about selling it. He just
Yeah.
comes and visits it once in a while.
Yeah, but Brian and Pam live next door. You know, Pam of the flowery speech.
Yeah.
And, you know, he has businesses, you know, in like China.
Oh, there you go.
And he was trying to sell the business in China and relocate. They won't let him.
Yeah, can't do it.
Different
You're
rules over there.
Once you're there, you're there.
Yeah.
They're not letting go of you.
Yeah, you should be happy he's not in Thailand because the military government that's taken over is saying, we're taking your business now, leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some crazy stuff
From my
going
point
on.
of view, I don't feel sorry for him.
No. You're looking to save a few bucks by doing that, well then, bad luck.
Okay, so look up 50. Can't see any up in the yards. Quit calling these people friends, but some people we know live in this blue house.
Okay.
But he went back to work. Is he older
Pipe.
than you or
Yeah,
around your
about the
age?
same age, but he's a piping engineer for Skyscraper.
And he went back to work, not full time, but like full time plus. I mean, he works a lot of hours. He's never home, and I'm thinking,
You know, he signs these contracts.
what the heck is the point? I mean,
They
you're just
bought
gonna
a-
die working.
He's already got a yacht and a 42-foot Hughes craft, and they bought a trailer and a new pickup. And I'm like, you know,
So I already counted those two.
you know, what's the point? I mean, if you're
not enjoying
retired-
it, who cares?
Yeah, if you're retired and you can't use the stuff because you're always working,